Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami siddhir bhavatu me sada yenakshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Samprikto Vagarthaf Pratipattaye Jagataf Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So as we start, right, we're starting this book 3. So we're seeking the grace of Lord Ganesha, Goddess Saraswati, Panini Muni, and all the other scholars that have come before us. We were seeing in our last class this topic 1. We won't chant our Maheshwar Sutra right now because we have a bit to cover. So we'll bypass that for right now. We're looking at this volume 3, which is called Panchavrittayaha, right? Panchavrittaya, 5 vrittis, 5 types of derivations. So we were seeing in our last class, just a quick review, that as we know in Sanskrit, right, this is where we started our Sanskrit study. There's only 2 types of words. There's Tingantam and Subantam, right? So Tingantam is made up of Dhatu plus Ting Pratyaya. Subantam is made up of Pratipadikam and Supratyaya. So then we focus in to this Dhatu, right? There's 2 types of dhatus. There's original dhatus, as told in Dhatu Pata by Panini Muni. And then we can make new derived dhatus. Okay, we can make new derived dhatus, and they can be endless, right? We can make an endless amount. Those dhatus which are derived are called Sanādi Dhatu Vṛtti. We're going to talk a little bit more again about that. Sanādi Dhatu Vṛtti. So out of the 5 vrittis, there's only 1 which makes new dhatus. Okay? That's when we add the Sanādi pratyas. Sanādi, meaning sun, etc. There's more than sun, but sun is an important one. So that means there's 4 other types of derivations, and they're all used to make new pratipadika. Okay, they're all used to make new pratipadika. So pratipadika, or this nominal base, right, that which we use to make a noun, there are non-derived pratipadika, avyutpanna pratipadika, and there are derived pratipadika, vyutpanna pratipadika. Okay, even with dhatu, we can say avyutpanna dhatavaha, non-derived, and vyutpanna dhatavaha, these which are derived. But because there's only 1 type, we just say there's sanādi, right? Sanādi dhatus. Okay, anyways, we're here at pratipadika. Okay, we're here in noun. There's only 2 types, right? Dhatu plus ting pratyaya, and then there's pratipadika plus supratyaya. So now pratipadika, avyutpanna and vyutpanna. These avyutpanna pratipadika a lot of them we studied in book 1 when we were doing the all the charts. But not all of them. Some of them were vyutpanna. Okay. So there's 3 types of ways of deriving pratipadhikas. So there's 3 ways of making new pratipadhikas. So we have 1 which makes dhatus. We have 3 more that make new pratipadhikas. Now you might ask, 1 plus 3 is 4, not 5. There's something called ekashesha, which is just repetition of the word. So we'll see that later. But you're technically not making a new pratipadika. If we want to include ekashesha, then we would include it in making new pratipadika. Okay, so really you can see 4 here, but the 4th is a little questionable. Okay, so that's why we only include 3 right now. Okay. And I'll take the question in a moment. I'll just go through this part, right? These are really important vocabulary words for us, right? We're learning a lot of vocabulary here in these first few lessons. That the derived word, so that word which is created fresh, is called a vṛtti. Okay, it's called a vṛttihi. And this word needs to be explained. That explaining sentence is what we call a vigraha. Okay, so for example, eater, the English word eater is a vṛtti, it's a derived word. Eat, dhatu, plus er suffix, which means the doer of eating. So the vigraha, the explanation will be one who eats is the eater. So vigraha is the explaining sentence. As I said, there's 5 types of vrittis. We're going to be seeing these as we go along. But you can repeat them just to get your mouth pronunciation, do some practice. So we'll say the first one. Sanādyanta dhatu vrittihi. So let me say it a little faster. Sanādyanta dhatu vrittihi. Sanādyanta dhatu vrittihi. Sanādyanta dhatu vrittihi. Sanādyanta dhatu vrittihi. Okay, when you hear sanādyanta dhatu, you should think of dhatu. That makes it fresh new dhatu. Okay. And there's 4 more. Kṛt vṛttihi. Kṛt vṛttihi. Tadhita vṛttihi. Tadhita vṛttihi. Samasa vṛttihi. Samasa vṛttihi. Ekashesha vṛttihi. Ekashesha vṛttihi. Okay. So now a lot of times we will say these without the word vṛtti because it's kind of assumed. So we'll say sanādyanta dhatu, or we'll say kridanta, krit, that which ends with krit, kridanta. We'll say tadhita. We'll just say samasa. Sometimes we'll just say ekashesha. Okay, so, but the vṛtti is implied. These are all derived words. So before I go into this quick explanation of Vigraha, Harprasad ji, I know you had a question, so why don't we take that now? You have to unmute yourself, Harprasad.
Yeah, Mahodaya, I have 3 questions.
Yeah, please.
Now, tell me, please,
Mhm.
you said we have, in Pratipadikas, we have some of the Pratipadikas we have learned is non-derived, Ayutpanna,
Yeah.
and some are Yutpanna. Give me examples of both, please.
Yeah. So for example, like we have Rama.
Correct?
Okay. Rama is not derived. It's avyutpanna pratipada. This is a Bhagavan given word. Now, if you ask some scholars, they'll say even this was derived, ram dhatu, and then you add, but some words we just take that Bhagavan has given them, okay?
Okay.
So like Rama, like
Okay.
Sarva.
Yeah.
There's some, sorry, that's, avyutpanna. Then there's vyutpanna like Bhagavan. Like Bhagavan. So the van, it means one who has, and then bhaga, these glories. So that's a derived word.
Okay.
Similarly,
Similarly, Bhagavat and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you. And the next question is, now, in the dhatus, in the derived dhatus, now original dhatus are about 3,000. What 2,000 and all, as in the dhatu pata.
Yeah.
Now, what we have learned so far, like pat, gam, ni, etc., are they the original dhatus?
Those are the original dhatus, correct.
Okay. We have not done anything about derived dhatus, so we don't know so far.
Yeah, and we're going to see that today.
Okay. So, but in you add dhatus to a pratipadika to form a krutpatya, for example. Now, is this dhatu the original dhatu or a derived dhatu?
That's a great question. It can actually be either. It can be either.
Oh, it can be either.
It can be either a derived or a non-derived dhatu that we add a krit pratyaya, and then we can make a whole new word, kridanta. Yeah.
Because in the text it says derived dhatus. Any number of dhatus can be derived grammatically from original dhatu.
Correct.
So you cannot make a derived dhatu from a derived dhatu. Am I right?
So we'll have to think about that, but I think you can add multiple pratyayas to one dhatu. So I think technically you can take a derived dhatu and add another suffix to add another layer of meaning. So technically you can make another derived dhatu out of a derived dhatu. But that's not very common.
Okay.
But there's no rules prohibiting that.
Okay. All right, Mahodaya. Thank you.
Yes. So this is why sometimes there's multiple layers of the words, right? And so we'll see that. Okay. So we were looking at this word vigraha, this explanatory sentence. There's 2 types of vigraha. There's lokika vigraha, meaning lokika. Lokika means that which is in the world, natural language. So for example, if we say Vedanta, Vedanam antaha iti Vedantaha. So that's what we explain. The end of the Vedas is called Vedanta. We use normal words. We can see alokika vigraha, the not natural language, the unnatural language. This is the grammar language, where we're breaking out the the pratipadika and the suffix, for example. So Veda plus am plus anta plus jas, right? Because this is a samasa. So you're breaking out each part of the word to show you how did this get made? Okay. So now we talked about all of that in the last class. The first type of vritti we're talking about is Sanādi Dhatu Vṛtti. Okay. So this is a Sanādi Pratyaya, right? Sanādi Pratyaya is the type of pratyaya suffix which is added to a dhatu. Okay. So Sanādi Pratyaya is always added to a dhatu, a root. So when you hear Sanādi, we should think dhatu. That's going to be added to a dhatu. Okay. Or it can also, I'm making us confused. I did this last time too. It can be suffixed to a dhatu or a subanta. Okay. So the Sanādi Pratyaya will make a new dhatu, it's added to a dhatu or subanta to create a new dhatu. So here, this equation makes it more clear than me messing up the words. Dhatu or a subantam, if we add a Sanādi Pratyaya, we make a new dhatu. Okay, so this new dhatu is called Sanādyanta Dhatu. Sanādyanta Dhatu. So there's a group of 12 pratyas, which we're going to see, and they're beginning adi with sun. So that's why it's called Sanādihi, right? Sun, etc., or beginning with sun. This list is given, right? That which ends anta with Sanādi Pratyaya is called Sanādyanta, and it becomes a dhatu by the sutra by Panini. So this comes from Panini. It's himself, Sanādyanta Dhatavaha. This new dhatu is called a Sanādyanta Dhatu. Okay, so this equation is in our mind. Dhatuhu plus Dhatuhu or Subanta plus a Sanādi Pratyaya equals a new dhatu called Sanādyanta Dhatu. Just to pause for a moment, I saw the question in the chat, is Vedanta samasa or a sandhi? It's actually a samasa. There's two words that are meaningfully combined. You can tell it's a samasa, not a sandhi, because so it'd be, you removed the suffix of Vedanta, right? Because it would be Vedanta. So, you remove the suffix of Veda, right? Because Vedanam antaha iti Vedanta. We remove that nam and you make a word together. That's how we know it's a samasa. Okay. So here are some words, examples of Sanādyanta Dhatu Vrittihis and their vigrahas, their explanations, right? So for example, nya plus sun. Sun means to desire to do. Okay, the way I remember this is if you have a son, all they want is they just desire everything, right? They eat everything in your house, right? They'll eat your whole fridge because they're desiring creatures, right? Sons. I'm a son, right? So I could say that. Son is desiring. So to desire. So if I have nya plus sun, don't worry how it's made yet, but it's the word jignasa. Jignasa. To desire, right? And then you add this meaning of the dhatu, to know. To desire to know. Now, how do we explain this? Here is the Lokika Vigraha. Kartum means to do. Ichha iti. Jnatum, ichha. So desire to know. Jnata means to know. Icha means desire. Iti jignasa. Iti jignasa. So the desire to know is jignasa, the desire to know. But if I was to break this out into grammar language, Nya plus san equals jignasa. Okay, so that's an example. Similarly, we have Kr plus san, it becomes chikirsha, to desire to do. Kartum icha iti chikirsha, to desire to do. Kr plus san. And we're also going to see the suffix called nich. Don't worry, we're going to be looking at these in detail, but nich is to make someone do. Okay? A nich is desire to make somebody do. Reason why we're focusing on this is these are used a lot in Vedanta, because not many people in my Gita class know these words. I don't give the Vigrahas, but naturally when we're teaching Vedanta, you'll see, depending on the context, we'll give a lot of Vigrahas. So if you go to study in a 3-year course, for example, the teacher will be giving so many Vigrahas to explain the true meaning of each word. You get the exact meaning. Nich, to make somebody do. So nya plus nich is to make somebody know. The word is nyapi. Nya plus nich is nyapi. Kr plus nich is kari, to make somebody do. Now, notice how we don't have lokika, because you have to follow the tradition. If there's no natural way of explaining this, then we just don't have a natural way of explaining this. We can say, yeah. Nya plus nich is nyapi, kr plus nich is kari. Okay? So, as we were just saying, the first type of Sanādi Pratyaya that we want to see today is san, right? Makes sense to start with san, Sanādi. The content of san is just sakara. Na is an it letter, indicatory letter. And it's used in the sense of to desire to do ... or to desire ... And as we said before, this is always suffix, sorry, it's so san is suffixed to a dhatu to make a new dhatu. Now you'll notice that a sanādi, sanādyanta dhatu can be a dhatu or pratipadika plus sanādi. But san and nich can only be added to a dhatu. Okay? These two are only added to, there's other examples of others, because there's 12 of them. There's a few of them which can be added to pratipadika. These two are only added to dhatus, and you will make a new dhatu. We already saw all of this. To make a new dhatu whose meaning is to desire to know, san pratyaya suffix to nya. After some modifications, nya plus san becomes jignasa. Because it ends with one of the Sanādi Pratyayas, jignasa is actually a new dhatu. Right? And because it's a dhatu, it can be conjugated like a normal dhatu can. Jignasati, jignasataha, jignasanti. Yeah, how nya becomes jignasa is not for today. What happens is you get this, it's what's called duplication. So it becomes nya nya, and then some of the letters go, then it's been jignya and jignasa finally. It's a little complicated. We don't even need to really know how it's made. Eventually we will get there, but you'll see these words, jignasa, especially jignasa, we see a lot in Vedanta, but chikirsha, some of these words, it's more important if the teacher says it's a Sanādi Kṛt, then we know it's to desire something. Yeah. The second most common is nich that we see. I mean, common in the sense that we talk about it a lot in Vedanta class, but nich. The E is the content, just the ikara. The n and the nakara and chakara are indicatory letters, right? They go away. And it's used in the sense to make somebody do. Okay. And it's suffixed to a dhatu to make a new dhatu, whose meaning will be to make somebody do the action, which is indicated by the dhatu. For example, to make the dhatu, to make somebody know, the nich pratyaya suffix to nya plus nix becomes nyapi. It can then be conjugated, nyapayati, nyapayataha, nyapayanti, etc. Okay, these are dhatus. Okay, so now let's look at Krita Vṛtti, the second part of this. I wanted to show, no, I'll show this next time. I don't want to go too deep. Okay. So if we're just recapping, there's 5 vrittis, only one of them makes new dhatus. That's Sanādyanta Dhatu Vṛtti. Okay. So this sun, etc., we saw 2 examples, sun and nich. They are added to a dhatu and they make a new dhatu. Now there's a lot more of them, but these 2 are common, so we just start there. The second type of vritti is called Krita Vṛtti. Now we know it's not going to make a new dhatu, because the only thing that can make a dhatu is Sanādyanta Dhatu Vṛtti. Right? So this is making a new Pratipadika. A new Pratipadika derived from a dhatu. So we've seen this a few times, but it's a Kṛt pratyaya is a type of pratyaya which is suffix or added to a dhatu to create a new Pratipadika. This new Pratipadika, which ends anta with Kṛt pratyaya, is called Kridantam. So the new Pratipadika is called Kridantam. Okay, so we have to have this discipline. Kṛt pratyaya is this. Kridanta, or a Kṛt Vṛtti, we can call Kṛt Vṛtti or Kridanta, is the new Pratipadika. Some examples include, so trich. Trich is a Kṛt pratyaya. Okay. It means the agent, the karta. So nya, to know, plus trich becomes nyatr. meaning the knower. You see how we took the dhatu, we added this, and now it becomes the knower. Janati iti jnata. So nyatr in 1-1 is jnata. Janati, the one who knows, is the jnata. Right? Nya plus trich is jnata. We were seeing this in one of our last 2 classes ago. Kta, nya plus kta. Kta means object in the past. Okay, meaning it's karma, it's an object, karma in the past. So nyata is that which is known. See how it's both karmani and it's actually in the past, that which is known. Nyayate iti jnataha. That which is known is jnata. Okay, so we won't see this one today, just so we don't overwhelm. But nya, we saw twa liap. Remember we saw twa? Twa means having done something, having ... Nyatwa is having known. Nya plus twa is nyatwa. So these are different examples of different krit pratyas. This is the short version. We'll go into these in more detail, right? But we want to give us some impressions. Okay, so let me stop here. Any questions right now? I'll keep it up on the screen. Yeah, Harprasadji, you have a question?
So, Mahodaya, can I assume then wherever they say suffix, whatever the pratyaya is, suffix to a dhatu, it means both the derived and non-derived? Can I assume that?
Yeah, you can assume that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Which book is this? Okay, so I can resend it by email so that we have it. I'm not sure if they will have it at the Arshavidya bookstore, but I'm sure that they can make it. I will also, there might be an Amazon link, which I can send you. I will check that out so that you can order the book if you want a hard copy. So I can send all those out one more time so that you have it. Yeah, Urmilaji.
I was wondering if there's any example of sun added to the Subanta pratyaya, Subanta padam.
Yeah, we do have that.
Example, just give me an idea.
Yeah. Coming to my mind, not coming to my mind. I will have to think about it. So if we think of here, let me pull up the sheet. So if I have okay, so there's this suffix called kyech. Okay, this is not commonly used. Kyech. Okay, I'll put it on the screen. Okay, can you see this?
Kyech.
I took this out because I just didn't want to overwhelm us right now, but kyech, kamach, kyang. Okay, so they're suffix to nouns in various sense to make a new dhatu. For example, putriya and putrakamya are actually new dhatus. Both mean to desire a son, right? They're derived from putram, suffixed by kyech, or kamyach, respectively. So you can make these two different words. But you can decline this and it means to desire to have a son. Yeah, that's but most of them are
It's rare. It's quite rare then, is it?
It's rare to us because we haven't studied too much, but it's yeah, we don't see it as much as these other ones. Yeah, is the son or daughter the same here? Yeah, I think you can say son or daughter. Yeah, isn't that unfortunate that they don't even give example, like, yeah, I don't know. I hope they desire daughters also. Harprasadji, one question, and then
Mahodaya, I think I think I understood you might have misspoken. Putra Kamya, you said you can decline it, right?
Yeah, you can decline it.
But it is a new dhatu though.
Yeah, so this new dhatu can be declined like any dhatu.
Oh, you mean conjugate?
Conjugate, sorry, yeah, conjugate.
Yeah, conjugate.
That's the word.
Yes. Okay. Dhanyawada.
Okay, so we will end here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.